So, do you like podcasts? Did you want to ever make your own, but just thought it wasn't for you, that it was too hard? Well, it really isn't that hard if you have the right partners. I mean, Justin and I, we use Buzzsprout, and it's been fantastic. It's real easy to use. It gets you listed on like every major podcast platform. I mean, we're on Pandora, we're on Stitcher, Amazon Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts, you name it, we're there. It just makes it super easy. You get these cool looking website that you can customize. You got these awesome audio players that you can just pick up and drop into other websites. It's the easiest way to promote your episodes. It really is. And not only that, but you go to Buzzsprout and you've already got 100,000 other people already using it, can tell you how great it is. It's just really the best way to go. And if you want to get started, all you got to do is take some gear that you already have. I mean, I started with a gaming headset, and we moved my way up. So it's not hard, I'm promising you. And if you want to get started, you just click on the Buzzsprout affiliate link in the show notes, and you get a $20 Amazon gift card. If you sign up, and it helps us out too, and it's just good all around.
You and I have unfinished business.
Oh? And what's so stinking about it?
The moment of patriot feeling, spirit to start.
I think this just might be my masterpiece.
Hello, and welcome to the Average Joe's Movie Clubcast presents Schlock Talk, where we watch hot-ass trash so you don't have to. I'm Joey, and today I'm joined by one of my very best friends of all time, TJ. We've known each other for, 100 years. I think we actually just decided it was like 23 to hurt my heart. So, how are you doing this evening, TJ? Lovely. Well, I guess we're going to get this out of the way. I'm not sure when this is going to air, but your birthday is in like a few hours, so happy birthday, you old fuck.
Thanks.
Since you've always reminded me how much older than me you are. But you did finally stop making the joke about going back in time and sleeping with my mother to be my father, so I do appreciate that.
Yeah, we all have to grow up sometime.
Well, you did it before the rest of us. You're an old man. So, tonight we are going to talk about a movie from the year 2010. And it's a satirical horror movie called Rubber. So before we get into that, though, we're going to do the typical thing here with a new host, or a new guest rather, I guess, since I'm still the host, I think. How did you come into finding out about schlocky movies, or come to enjoy them, or your relationship with B movies and all that fun stuff?
Sci-Fi Channel, basically. They're just awful, but so much fun.
Yeah, that seems to be kind of a recurring theme was the Sci-Fi Channel. So we definitely, back in the day, we've watched some movies together back when we were in high school. I remember us getting sloshed, and we were probably 15 or 16, and watching The Evil Dead.
Yes.
And I think we watched The Mummy that night too. And by the time we got like to the end of the movie, the second one, I was like fucked up. And we watched like American Pie You want to talk about a movie that has not aged well, but like 1999, and you're 14 years old. That was like the pinnacle.
There's 9 of them now.
Yeah, and I think there's about 7 of them sitting on my shelf in there. So, yeah. So we definitely have watched some movies back in the day. And the reason that this is the movie we're doing is because you've been begging me to watch this movie probably for 11 years now. So I finally gave in. And we'll get into our thoughts on this movie here just momentarily. So, that being said, we're gonna interrogate you a little bit more. You know, break you in, run you in real good. Maybe use it, but we won't use a rubber.
Oh,
I mean, we've known each other for long enough, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we're good with bareback.
Yeah. So, what would you say is your favorite genre of movie?
I'm gonna go horror. I think that's pretty much. There's a high tolerance for garbage in the horror genre.
There really is, because you can watch something that's garbage and you're like, that's not that bad. Like Leprechaun, which we did for the last episode that I recorded. It's not going to be the last episode from whenever this one comes out. But episode 4, Leprechaun. I mean, that was a schlocky movie and a horror movie, but it was enjoyable. It had its moments. One that I wish I had not discovered earlier this year and already watched was like Don't Fuck in the Woods. Because, I mean, it just plays up on that slasher trope of don't have sex. And, boy. So, all right. So, that being said, we got horror as the favorite genre. What would be your favorite movie?
You know, I think about this, and I really don't have one, but just for you, Donnie Darko.
Yeah, that's not surprising. You and Ty Buckman. At least you don't have the tattoo like he does. In all honesty, I've contemplated coming back around to watch that. We had an episode in season 2 of the main podcast where we had to pick a movie that didn't impress us or something the first time around, and we rewatch it. I ended up going with The Princess Bride, but Donnie Darko was like a high consideration for that slot. So, but yeah, the story with that is you got me to watch that, and me and our friend, our mutual friend Casey, got TJ to watch Pulp Fiction. And/or Fight Club?
I think I'd already watched Fight Club.
No, I think she and I watched Fight Club later. Yeah. Well, we got you to watch Pulp Fiction, and you were just like, I don't see what the big deal is.
I mean, I like John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson.
I mean, who doesn't like Sam Jackson? I mean, but Big Bruce Willis's in it.
It's just the rest of the movie is...
Well, agree to disagree, but, you know, that's fine. I mean, you just picked Donnie Darko as your favorite movie, so...
Just for you.
Yeah, so, that being said, we'll go along. Favorite director?
Just for you, just to keep on theme, Richard Kelly.
Directed Donnie Darko?
Yes, he did.
All right. See, I actually learned some stuff. All right. We got a favorite actor or actress, or actress?
Oh, I'm going to go with Jake and Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Oh, well, I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal is actually a really good actor. So, you actually have that kind of in common with Justin. Back to season 2 when we did a movie from our favorite actor or actress, he picked Nightcrawler, and we actually did 2 movies with Jake Gyllenhaal that season because we also did Brokeback Mountain. So,
really good movie.
Yeah, both movies were good. Way better than any of the shit we're watching here.
Yeah.
Just boy. All right. So, what's the first movie that you remember that was like more than a movie to you, whether it was artsy or it just spoke to you or whatever, where you were like, this is more than just entertainment?
That's a good one, but...
We gonna stay on theme?
No. I mean, that's actually not far off, but around the same time. I know this sounds terrible, but probably Braveheart. I loved that movie for so long.
I mean...
It's not a good movie. It's really not. It's fun.
I mean, it's fun, but I mean, if it's what struck and spoke to you, I mean, then there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you got to think about, we were what, 13 when that movie came out or something?
Yeah, 1995.
Oh, it came out in oh shit. So I was 10. Yeah. You were like 10 or 11. So yeah.
95.
Yeah. I mean, I always tell people, to me, it was American Beauty.
You've told me many times.
Yeah. So, but you know, like as I think about it, it's like I'm pretty sure I had already seen Pulp Fiction at that point, but like I didn't realize, I guess, some of the things that I was watching in it. I was just like, oh shit, they're killing people, they're doing heroin, like you know, it appealed to that side of me, you know, being 14, 15 years old, no, 17 or 18 at that point, because I watched it with Troy, so that would have been like the first half of senior year, of high school. So All right, and what is the first movie you remember watching at the theater?
You know, I was thinking about this the other day while I was listening to your podcast, and I remember seeing, like, Who Framed Roger Rabbit in theaters. But the first movie I actually remember, like, sitting down and watching, this is going to sound terrible, was I watched the Nightmare on Elm Street in 3D with my mother. I think it's the final chapter or whatever.
Yeah, something like that's probably right. Yeah, I don't know all the Friday the 13th quite. I mean, because I've only seen the OG and the remake, and then now I've seen Freddy versus Jason. So, two of those three movies are good. One of those movies
the remake with without Robert Englund is not good.
Yeah, they gave old Rorschach they gave him kind of the short end of the stick there, because he deserved better than that. That being said, we're gonna move into the main event of the evening, Rubber. So, like I said, it's a 2010 horror comedy. It's also a very satirical film. So it was made on a budget of about $800,000. And from what I looked up a little, here we go. Yep, its domestic box office was $100,000. It made about $681,000 worldwide. So not a good return on investment there. I'm surprised it took that much money to make it. I'm gonna be real with you, especially considering there was not very many special effects. It was a lot of real effects. I'm surprised it took that much money to make this movie.
Well, fun fact, the explosions were all practical effects, but the director didn't like them, so he went back in and did special effects over top of it.
Oh, okay. Well, there's like the whole,
that's the whole budget.
That's the whole
and
budget.
Explodings was the whole budget.
Yep. So, okay. Well, I mean, maybe he just felt like being Michael Bay that day. I don't know. All right. Movie starts out and there's just these bunch of chairs, like regular coffee table chairs or kitchen table chairs, whatever you want. They're the flimsiest fucking chairs in history. Like, so then you're looking down at them, and like a late 80s, early 90s model car is driving up, like a sedan, and it's like hitting them. So you're like, all right, a car would destroy a table, but then you like it's barely touching them, like barely clipping them. It's like they gimmicked the chair like they were in wrestling or something. And the car stops, and the trunk pops open, and a fucking cop, I guess a sheriff, gets out, and he goes on this diatribe that TJ really enjoyed.
It's so stupid.
Yes, it is indeed stupid. So out of curiosity, TJ, why is the alien E.T. Brown?
No reason.
Why in JFK is the president shot by a random assassin?
That was second worst one, but no reason.
I think that's the worst one. Which one was the worst one?
I think the pianist was the worst one.
Oh,
because it's like, come on.
It's like, it's not an allegory that he has to stay in seclusion for his life or anything.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I've never even seen that movie, but I know who the fuck Roman Polanski is.
It's not 1940s Poland with Germany knocking on the door, right?
Yeah. So then you have the one guy you've seen at this point, I guess who the cop is talking to. He starts talking to like a group of, when you see him, he's holding like 15 pairs of binoculars. That's probably also where some of the budget, like $200 or $300 of the budget went, was those binoculars.
They had to rent the binoculars and that one dude with the camera.
Yeah, the one dude with the camera had to get the wheelchair. Unless that guy was actually handicapped. He had to get the wheelchair. Boy. Oh, let's not forget the turkey. I wonder if it had a stunt turkey and an emotional support turkey. So yeah, now basically he's like, you're about to watch this film, and he gives all of these people binoculars, and they're like, why'd they destroy the chairs? I'm like, obviously they want you to go, oh, no reason. We could have sat in them. So then they finally found it. They're out in the desert, by the way. It's not like they're in a city. They're out in the desert. And then you find, they see this tire out in this dump. And it kind of starts moving, and then it falls down, and it falls down. So basically, like, it's an infant, and it's starting to walk for the first time. Well, I guess a toddler would be more apropos than an infant for humans. For other creatures that are just born and just walk. And it rolls a little bit, and then it falls down and goes to sleep. Because, well...
It's tired.
Yeah, it was out of thread. I hate myself so much. I hate you, TJ. You son of a bitch. No offense to my second mom, but TJ, you son So it wakes up and it starts moving again. And then the guy who had all the binoculars, he's back on his bicycle and he's waking everybody up because they're all asleep in sleeping bags in the desert, except for the guy in the wheelchair who's already awake watching. And they start complaining about, hey, anybody got any food for breakfast, blah, blah, blah. And you see did the tire already run over the bottles before it went to sleep?
Yes.
Okay, so you'd already seen it run over a plastic bottle and squish it. Up and over a glass bottle a few times. It ran over a scorpion. I don't know what it had against a wrestler Sting. Or against the police. Maybe he's a part of NWA. I don't know. He's the lost member of NWA. Now he starts rolling down the street. That's where he sees the bunny rabbit for the first time. I guess he's not on the street yet. But he sees a rabbit. So then he blows up and kills Bugs Bunny. Son of a bitch. Now he's killed my favorite childhood wrestler. He's killed my favorite cartoon character. This tire is a menace. He's more of a menace than Spider-Man. So I need pictures. I need pictures of Robert. Because his name is apparently Robert in the credits. So the tire's name is Robert for the record. So at this point, after he rolls a little bit and kills the crow. No, he runs up on the convertible first, right? Before the crow.
Yes.
So there's a convertible with a girl parked in the road. It's stalled out, and then the Robert is behind her. So I guess he's gonna try to kill her or something. He's gonna hit it from behind. I guess he thinks he's a rogue. And then this real late model, probably late 70s model truck comes speeding by and hits Robert and knocks him off of the road and swings around the girl in the car. And then I guess he decides he's a full-blown serial killer because this is where it starts. He finds him at a gas station.
I don't think he's a full-blown serial killer yet.
Okay, I guess.
He's just getting revenge on the one person right now.
Currently. So he obliterates Homeboy's head in the truck. And then we see Homegirl at a motel. And then the Robert is at the motel. And he's watching her take a shower. A little prevert.
He was wanting to get mounted.
I think so. I mean, I guess, he wanted some lubrication on him. I don't know. There's a joke there somewhere. I'm just going to leave it alone. So at this point, we pan back to the audience who are watching, and they're like, let me see. And the one dude covers his kid's eyes because, you can see the girl's butt. And then she doesn't got a great butt, but she's got a great rack. And then a couple of guys are arguing if her butt's great and blah, 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 blah. You never see the rack, which is kind of disappointing because this level of bad movie needs nudity. It needs some boobies. Let me be real. It's not like Shark and Saw Women Prison bad, but it's pretty bad. I know my guest host here disagrees. I'm a little surprised you didn't say Rubber was your favorite movie.
No.
He's like, I'm not leaning into it that fucking hard. Not that hard. I'm just not gonna outright lie for the lulz. So then he's checked into a room and watching. He's just changing channels, and then the person who comes and cleans housekeeping, the maid, housekeeping. Yes, she comes into his room and he's taking a shower, showers on, just standing in the shower. So she throws him out of the room into the dirt. He just got clean.
He did.
He had just gotten clean. TJ, you should have seen him. He was a mess. He was.
I was sad because I know what it's like to clean something and then have someone put dirt on it again.
That's what happens when you have more than one kid, bro. Told you to stop. You didn't listen. And, well, the maid has now crossed Robert. So, guess what happens? He rolls away and leaves her alone. After he explodes her fucking head. And there's a little boy, I guess he's the owner of the owner of the hotel's kid. And he's like, hey, this tire's alive. And he's like, don't you have some homework or something? He's like, nah, I'm on vacation. And he's like, well, go get me a pizza, you brat. Go ride your bike and get me a pizza. And no one believes that the tire is sentient. The boy goes and gets the pizza, and he picks up some crow guts and puts on the pizza. And somebody's watching him do that. And I don't remember who the fuck it was.
It was a hippie on a bicycle, or it was a hippie hitchhiker. He was trying to hitchhike with the kid on the bicycle.
Oh yeah, that's right. And now the tire's in the pool. It just rolled itself into the pool and sank to the bottom. And then the audience had a debate on what was better.
We're skipping a very important part.
Oh, yeah, the turkey part, right?
No, we're not skipping turkey. We're skipping the part where she was in the pool. And he was just trying to imitate her behavior.
Oh, that's right. Homegirl that he had been following was in the pool. And the turkey's after this, right?
Yes.
Okay. So then is this...
Oh, wait, no. Turkey came before this.
Yeah, so the guy who had the binoculars, the 800 pairs of binoculars, he's in a hotel room. And he gets a phone call, and he's talking to somebody, and he keeps calling him master. It's going to be done first thing in the morning, blah, blah, blah. And then you turn around, and there's a whole live-ass turkey in his room. And he opens up some kit, and he's got some knives in it. And it fades to black, and you hear the turkey, like, gobble. And it's like, well, okay, the turkey's dead. And so he...
It's so ridiculous they censored that. And explode heads the whole time.
Well, yeah, but if he was... If a human is killing a turkey, someone might imitate them and harm a turkey.
Oh, okay.
Not like we're about to do in a few weeks, for Thanksgiving. Again, this might be a couple of months ago by this airs, but we're like a couple of weeks from Thanksgiving at recording. So, gobble, gobble, motherfucker. So then he goes and he drops the turkey on the ground, and everybody in the audience starts like devouring the turkey except the man in the wheelchair.
Yeah, animals.
Filthy animals eating it off the ground and everything. Because the dude just threw it in the dirt. Food! Also, where the hell did he cook this turkey? In his hotel room? Where did he, bind it?
There's no reason.
I know there's no reason, but where?
There's no reason.
Where did he defeather it? Oh. There's no reason for you to want me to watch this movie either, but... We'll get to that. No, that's at the end, brother. That's at the end. Oh boy. So is there another scene, or they start realizing they're poisoned right away, or shortly thereafter? There's some scene before they realize they're poisoned. Is that where they're watching him in the pool?
Yeah.
And that's when they start debating about whether an inner tube or a tire would float, and the kid, who, didn't get to see the butt through the binoculars, starts complaining about his stomach. And his dad's like, it's fine, you ate too fast. And then everyone starts complaining. And the old guy in the wheelchair is like, yeah, they poisoned you. It was a trap. But they didn't get me, so it's okay.
Yeah, we all took solace in that.
Yes, we all, in fact, took solace. The fact they just stayed there and didn't leave and go home. Fucking morons. So next up, now the cops are there with the dead housekeeper, and the owner makes his son go in his jeans and pull the tire out. And he's like, it's not alive, blah, blah, blah. And then the son's around drinking a soda, and the tire rolls around, and he's like, tell me your name, talk to me. And the tire just rolls away. Is this the part where the cops start hey, nobody's watching? Is this?
Yes, this is exactly what this is.
Okay. So we get to the next part, and the main cop is back, and he's like, hey, he tells the owner of the hotel, hey, we poisoned all of the audience. You can stop. You don't have to pretend anymore. Just go home. And then he tells the other cops, and they're like, what? No, people are dead. And he convinces one of them to pull his gun out and shoot him. And he gets shot multiple times, and he's perfectly fine. And then they're like, what about the housekeeper? She's really dead. And he's like, is she? Go shake her. Her head's blown off. And then Binocular Boy comes back and is like, one of the guys didn't take the poison. You have to keep going. And then at this point, the tire, Robert, comes back and kills the owner of the hotel. And
the cops interrogating the owner again.
Oh yeah, he's asking him a bunch of questions that I don't remember. About the housekeeper and her overweight brother, right? Her obese brother. Yeah. I'm glad you were here. Because some of this was literally we finished watching this 5 minutes before we started recording. I was already trying to erase this from my memory.
Two of my favorite parts are in this, are back to back. It's where he pulls the paper out with the next line for the movie, and he's like, "Oh, the kid was right. Oh my god."
And then chucks it over his shoulder. All right, so then what's the next favorite part?
When he comes back and he's explaining to all these people that the the killer is a tire. He actually takes a tire off of the police car and off of the rim and places it down and says, "This is what our killer looks like."
Probably non-branded.
Probably not.
And then somebody asked if the tire was black. Not if it has like white wall or anything, just if the tire is black. Boy. So now there's like, he's like, you got 24 hours to find it. And then he kills somebody else. He kills the main cop, right? No. Mm. He kills somebody else, and then it's like 3 days later.
Yeah, he kills one of the cops.
Yeah. And then it's 3 days later, there's a bunch of dead bodies.
Well, we skipped the scene where he rolls up on the landfill and they're burning all the tires.
Oh yeah. All this the symbology and symbolism.
That's where he becomes just a straight up serial killer.
I think at this point he's already a straight up serial killer.
He is just defending himself. He's like a child at this point who's been hurt, and that's the only way he can take revenge is by lashing out.
Okay.
At the landfill part is where he becomes a straight up serial killer.
Okay. Thanks, Justin, for explaining an overly pretentious movie to me. I appreciate it.
I agree. This movie is pretentious. I'm not disagreeing with you. This movie is about how terrible movies are.
Why is the alien E.T. brown again?
No reason.
There probably is an actual reason, but there's no reason canonically in the script. But there's probably a reason because of effects and costumes and shit. So now we fast forward to 3 days later, and there's dead people everywhere. Just dead people. And he's just sitting in a house in a chair watching NASCAR, which I guess is appropriate that he's just watching NASCAR. And they're all like, "Hey, we found him. We got him. We found him." And the dude's like, "Okay, handle it." So they roll a dummy up, like a mannequin, with a speaker strapped to it and some dynamite strapped to it. And they have the girl who he was perving on talking into the mic, coming out of the speaker on the thing, just saying stupid stuff like, "Come here, you dirty slut." And it's all just terrible. "Come here, you bitch." And so Robert rolls out there. And at this point, the one audience member's left, like, knocks on their van, and he's like, "This doesn't even make any sense now. Why haven't y'all just blown up the dynamite to kill him?" And they're like, "Well, we want him to blow up its head, and that'll set off the dynamite." And it's like, that logic doesn't even make sense. I thought, what are we, Wile E. Coyote? Bugs is already dead, fam. So, what happens? Robert blows up the head, and nothing happens. So the one cop gets pissed, grabs his shotty, goes in there, and the guy's sitting by. He's like, "You can't do this. This doesn't make sense. It doesn't do anything for the story." Boom! Like 3 shotgun blast. And like obliterates this tire. Just obliterates it. And walks away. And then we start going into like the Shining/Omen territory. And speaking of the Omen, that's the Halloween special for the last year on our main podcast. You can go back and listen to it where you can hear me talk shit about the Omen and yell at Justin for not picking Halloween movies, that bastard. Tricycle rolls out. And the guy in the wheelchair is like, "Oh God, it's not over. He's being reincarnated in a tricycle." If you want absurdity, you are in absurd territory with this movie. It may be pretentious, but it is fucking absurd. And if you like absurd, then this is the movie for you. I don't really suggest it, but you do you. I won't stop you from you doing you. And the guy in the wheelchair starts talking to Robert, the tricycle, and is like, "Hey, I'm just a spectator. I'm not here." He blows him to smithereens, like not just his head, whole body, and then rolls away. Does he blow up the van? No. Okay, he just rolls away. And then as he's rolling down the street, a tire picks up, and another tire picks up, and then like a monster truck tire picks up, and just now there's an army of tires following him. And I guess it's supposed to spell doom for America or the world or movies or something.
Well, they pretty ham-fisted that one when they rolled into Hollywood. They were just hitting us over the head with the symbolism at this point.
Symbology? What is the symbology? I believe the word you're looking for is symbolism. Anywho, that's also a pretty bad movie, and I love that movie, so maybe one day I'll talk about that on one of the podcasts. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet, but TJ probably doesn't like that movie either.
I love Boondocks.
Okay, good. Well, you did just quote it in the middle with me quoting it. And then we got I want to say a Marvel, where they put an end credit scene, but it was just the opposite direction of the first scene.
And you can see that he's not talking to anybody. That's why the dude's looking at him like he's crazy. He's talking to us. He's talking to us, the viewer.
Oh, you don't say. Couldn't figure that out from the first scene where he's looking directly at us. I don't have a fourth wall. Nah. I'm Deadpool. So, thus ends this movie. So, I feel like you're going to not follow one of these criteria for this movie, but rate this movie trash, hot ass trash.
I mean, I believe everybody should watch this movie. I'm not going to lie. This is just absurd, but it's pretty bad. So, I'm going to go with the middle. I'm going to go with hot trash.
I'm very surprised you weren't like, this is none of these. This is great.
I mean,
5 out of 5 stars.
Personally, I thought about doing that, and I feel like everyone should watch this movie, but it is a pretty bad movie.
I'm going to go with the good old hot ass trash on this one. It's definitely, I don't know, I got to go and add it to my ranked list that I keep on Letterboxd, but I do not know if it is in fact actually going to even be in my top 10 worst movies for this year. But like I said, I'm going to give it the good old hot ass trash. For some reason, we have convinced you to watch it, or convinced you not to watch it because we watched this so you don't have to. You can watch it on Fubo, Hoopla, Canopy, or you can rent it from like Amazon, Google, Vudu, YouTube, Apple, Microsoft, basically everywhere. So it's pretty easy to come by. It's also pretty short, so it's not going to take up a lot of your time. That being said, is there, where can people find you if they want to message you, or are you going to be a Mr. Super Incognito guy?
Oh, I don't have anything.
Okay, I kind of suspected that was the case, but I figured I would.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I do have a Twitter, a tweety tweet. TJ McKay84.
Yes, and I also, I've never put my Twitter out there, it is at @average_Joe_E. Go figure. And then you can find me on Letterboxd as always at letterboxd.com /Joey_P. Of course, I'm on the Average Joe's Movie Clubcast Facebook page. Our email, averagejoesmovieclubcast.com, or not .com, @gmail.com. You'd think I'd know that. I've done it enough times. But if you got some hot ass trash you think I should watch so other people don't, send it to me. Tweet it at me, comment it on Letterboxd, or send us in an email. Or if you got some good suggestions for Justin, because this isn't his kind of thing, he's going to be, he should have already been on an episode by the time this airs, but try to get him back out there. And with that being said, that's going to close it out. So we'll see you guys the next time. Later.